The future of advertising in gaming is the most premium, exciting, pixel-perfect games in the world, adopting monetization and advertising because it's done in a way that their gamers and their community are going to accept it for the first time in the history.
I think what's interesting about advertising in gaming is that it used to be isolated to platform. So you had the consoles game, the mobile games, games you play on your television. And I think today you're starting to see a real blend and interconnectivity across platforms. Recently, Samsung did a poll of gamers, and what we discovered was 2/3 of everyone polled said they were receptive to ads. But what was even more interesting for us was that 40% of them said that they were open to ads, particularly if it allowed them an opportunity to get a discounted or free gaming experience. And when we looked even further into that information, 51% of all Samsung smart television users said that they actually game now on their mobile devices. And when we looked into the data, what we saw was that 76% of people polled said that they actually start gaming on one device and end on a different device. And so when you reflect on that, you actually see a real merging of what has historically had been different gaming platforms all becoming one connected ecosystem.
At the end of the day, what we are seeing now is, whilst there are still the traditional type of game advertising through banners as well as interstitial, the lines of gaming is blurring. Gaming isn't just gaming anymore. Even when you look at immersive environments, they are communities. People interact. So you are now looking at all of these gaming opportunities as well as interactions to be not just gaming but social as well as entertainment. This changes the way that we can speak with consumers as well. Earlier on I did bring up interstitials and banners, but now you can think about avatar sponsorships, you can think about billboards in their virtual world as well. What we need to remember is that a lot of the audience now don't even watch TV. So it is imperative for brands as well as advertisers to think about engaging with their audience in a very different landscape, to think about having an experience that is native to their digital world. So as an example, let's not think about slapping an ad just within their digital environment. Create a value exchange between the player that is within the game, and that could be through content, that could be through giveaway, but it is starting to show a very different way in which you can start to build brand love with the community as well as with the audience.
The concept of a gaming brand no longer lives within the gaming experience. You're seeing television shows and movies and product extensions. And I think what that does for brands is open up far greater capabilities for brands to be integrated not only into the game, but also the gaming experience and the gaming ecosystem that now intersects with the consumer in new and different ways that we haven't seen over the last 10 years. So when we look very specifically around what that means for us in creating a more immersive experience, we recently had an announcement with performance designed products, or PDP. In working with them, what we are building is accessories specifically designed around the television to create a more immersive experience. Even though that we have seen a huge explosion in mobile games, we know that the most immersive experience is in front of your television.
People don't hate ads, people hate bad ads. When you have a good experience, when you have branded content making the game more relevant, more realistic, when you have relevant content people want to consume, that's a great experience. If you have intrusive type of advertising, very high frequency of the same content again and again, or just not relevant or not appropriate content, that's a bad experience and people will not like it and it just not make any sense.
What we're also seeing is a more immersive experience around cloud gaming. When we think about cloud gaming, for us what that specifically means is extending that across our entire Galaxy ecosystem. And speaking of our Galaxy ecosystem, what we're also planning on doing is expanding our gaming strategy across all of our devices. So whether it's the gaming hub or whether it's advancements in accessories. And the reason why that's important from a brand perspective is brands no longer want to just live in the console or live on the mobile phone.
definitely say to think about and understand the audience. There is a lot of depth and breadth to the audience as well as the environment within gaming. When you think about the audience, you're not just thinking about gamers as the young kid that is in their parents' basement, playing 8 hours of console. Gamers and players would also be your grandma playing Sudoku. And in fact, in one of the recent studies that were released by IGEA, women 50 plus is the largest group of growing gamers. So to understand who the gaming audience really is going to be key, but then also to understand that there is different ways of doing game advertising. You don't just have to do the big activations. It's not just about that. There are different points that you can hop on or hop off. So you can always start to test and learn and have a crawl, walk, run approach. And most importantly, work with trusted partners as well that can actually guide you through quite a new emerging channel as well.
First and foremost, respecting the space. The one thing we know about gamers is they know their environment and they know their gameplay. It is very important that for a brand that's looking into gaming to really understand its native experience and make sure that their brand integration feels organic. The second piece of advice that I would have is work directly with the publisher. Publishers are looking for unique ways to extend the story beyond the game, whether it's into television extensions, movie extensions, or even merchandise extensions. There are far greater capabilities for a brand to be involved in the gaming experience beyond just gameplay. And the last piece of advice that I would have is for advertisers to look at gamification. Gaming is more than just what sits on a console. Ads can be gamified. Television can be gamified. Mobile phone experiences can be gamified. I would encourage advertisers to think more creatively beyond just the gameplay and figure out not only what is authentic and organic for the brand, but what can be authentic and organic for the advertiser to bring those two worlds together.
So there's really two ways of how we offer brands to be in the game. There is low touch, programmatic, incremental reach, new eyeballs, high attention, help your ad dollars work better for you than some alternatives out there. There's more high touch, a bigger gaming activations that require more sophistication. And it really all starts by choosing the way you want to get in the game and taking it from there.